Good evening, Andrea Jenkins. I guess you will be following very closely, as all your colleagues will be, these results. What for you will be perhaps the mark that the Prime Minister needs to pass to solidify his position?
Um, but can we just look at the electoral cycle first, though? I think we've got to also put this into perspective. I mean, look back in 2009 when Labour was doing really badly. It was brutal local elections for them. And I think that we took control of 30 out of the 34 councils. We had 1,500 councillors. They was down to about 170. Yet we as Conservatives didn't win an overall majority, did we? That's when we went into coalition a year later. So to me, a week's a long time in politics, and so is 6 months, really. So, and it's so often, as we know, it's the governing party who does get trounced when in these elections. So I think we do need to put this into perspective as well. We need to start delivering our promises on illegal migration. We've got to stop this two-tier system, especially what we've seen in London under Khan, where crime's concerned. But I mean, I don't think it's as clear cut for the Labour Party. You might think I'm a bit mad, but if I'm looking at my own canvass returns, Nick, we're finding on the doorstep it's a third Conservative, third Labour, and 40% who are so disenfranchised with politicians, full stop. So, I think we've still got a skin in the game, so to speak. But yes, it's going to be one hell of a fight that we have to pull it back. But
just for clarity, though, you have not changed your mind. You think Rishi Sunak should be replaced by a new leader. You're just not sure it's going to happen.
Yeah, look, I haven't changed my mind, Nick. I speak as I find, but what I'm saying is I'm being pragmatic. Are my colleagues going to do it? I'm not so sure. Are you, Nick? I mean, I put my letter in 6 months ago. So I'm being pragmatic. We know what I want. I didn't want to see Boris toppled in the first place. However, if colleagues are not going to put letters in, then we've got to think of how we can, get through the election. And I'd like to see a major cabinet reshuffle where they bring back, talent from the right of the party. So if Rishi is still there, then we've got to have a major war cabinet reshuffle. That's what I think. Look, I think that it's going to be tough for Conservatives in this cycle, as I've said, and we're going to get a bloody nose, without a doubt. Putting it quite bluntly, it's going to be quite brutal. But as I said, I mean, on the doorstep, there's not an appetite for Starmer, though. It just seems to be none of the above. There's so much apathy. So I think actually it's going to be low turnout, and Labour will gain a lot because of low turnout, because our voters won't tend to go out. And I think like the independents and the Green parties, parties like this will start pulling some councillors in as well.
And will Rishi Sunak still be leader of the Conservative Party in a month's time?
I've given up predicting, Nick. Seeing I put my letter in 6 months ago, and I was a real plotter trying to oust Theresa May. God knows. I honestly don't know. I can't predict anything.
It's always refreshing when a politician says, God knows. I just don't know.
Thank you so much for joining us, Andrea Jenkins. Thanks very much indeed there.